We have come to the final game of the first day of the 2025 Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Softball Tournament. It is the final single elimination game as we round out the four-team double elimination field. It features the 7th-seeded Muskies of Lakeland University and the 3rd-seeded Eagles of Benedictine University. Welcome back if you've been here all day. If you're just joining us, welcome. I'm Sean Fry. Our technical director is Bryce Suter. Lakeland came in 19-21, 13-11 to tie for 7th and as the 7th seed in the NACC tournament. They knocked out Marion 4-1, the second game of the day, and now need to win one more to advance into double elimination play. They'll try to do so against Benedictine, 27-13 on the season, 16-8, finishing a tie for 3rd in the NACC, and they took the tiebreaker. They've been in every NACC tournament except 2019 when they were briefly attempting to transition to Division II. No one has won more NACC tournaments than Benedictine, who won 7 in an 8-season stretch through the 2010s. After being voted to finish 4th in the NACC preseason poll, and after a 1-5 start to league play, and being 4-8 in the conference on April 15th, won their last 12 conference games. A terrific tear, red hot, to match their uniform color into the NACC tournament, and they will try to fill out the 4-team double elimination field if they can get a win over Lakeland. Lineups are being exchanged at home plate, so let's meet them. First, for the visiting Muskies of Lakeland University, here is Kayla Bryant's lineup for game number 2. It's the shortstop, Carly Morrow, leading off, followed by the catcher, Jordan August. Designated player Peyton Harlow is in the 3 spot, and it's Maddie Rasky in center field, batting cleanup. 5, 6, and 7 are the second baseman, Sydney Meyer, the third baseman, Lexi Howard, the left fielder, Abby Heitman. Batting 8th, playing first base, is Mackenzie Staudinger, and the right fielder, Raina Ruppnow, rounds out the order for Lakeland. Morrow, August, Harlow, Rasky, Meyer, Howard, Heitman, Staudinger, and Ruppnow. The lineup for Lakeland. They'll hand the ball to the right-handed freshman, Lily Pettit. She'll be making her 14th start of the season. She pitched to a 5-5 record and a 3.66 ERA in 72 2/3 innings with 27 strikeouts in the regular season. So that's the lineup for Lakeland. And now legendary head coach Kate Heidkamp has this lineup for the Eagles of Benedictine University. And it is the catcher, Morgan Bruno, leading off. The team leading .403 average entering play. The shortstop, Brianna Deutscher, bats second, and the third baseman, Haley Barnes, is hitting third. Designated player Victoria Dazinski hits 4th in the cleanup spot, followed by Jasmine Lozano, the former NACC Freshman of the Year, who bats 5th and plays left field. Right fielder Jenna Bartkey is in the 6th spot, followed by the first baseman Taylor Openheis. She'll hit 7th. Center fielder Lauren Bogard is in the 8th spot. The pitcher Mackenzie Johnson rounds out the batting order. The flex player is Lauren Olson. She'll be at second base. Bruno, Deutscher, Barnes, Dazinski, Lozano, Bartkey, Openheis, Bogard, and Johnson, the lineup for Benedictine. I mentioned that Mackenzie Johnson is in the circle, and she has been brilliant for BU this season. It'll be her 18th start, a 15-5 mark, and a 217 earned run average. That's a top 5 mark in the league. Opponents hit a league best 193 against her. She had 129 strikeouts. That was second only to Katie Pollock of MSOE in the conference. She did all that in 116 innings. A fabulous junior season for the junior from Cary, Illinois. She gets the ball for Benedictine. And those are your lineups here for game number 4 of the day. Keith Poirier is behind the plate. Mark Ginsky is the umpire at first base, and Scott Stempel is at third as we wrap up Thursday's play here at Bedrosian Stadium. So the lineup cards have been exchanged. They are just cleaning up the infield a bit. They'll announce the lineups, and then we'll get underway as we conclude day 1 of the NACC tournament Our broadcast presented by Kaufman GMC in Aurora, celebrating 75 years of service to Aurora and communities across Chicagoland. By Elite Management Properties, offering extensive student housing options around the Aurora University campus. By Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, game days are better with Cane's. Give up on me now. One more game to get through, Bryce. No, I'm good. I had a Diet Coke. That's all I need. Oh, again? What's wrong with me? I'm the worst. It's my fault. 57 degrees, sunny skies, no clouds anywhere, but it is cooling off rapidly. We were into the low 60s earlier, but as the sun is setting here at Bedrosian, starting to feel a little cool out there. Wind still blowing in out of right center field, 10 plus miles per hour, so it is waning a bit, but only a little. They don't call Chicago the Windy City for nothing, but what they don't tell you is that it's windier in the suburbs. I stand by it. The windiest place on earth. That's the experience here in the Midwest. Thanks for being here, Benedictine and Lakeland. It has been a long day. First game was at 11 a.m., 7.5 hours later. Mackenzie Johnson starts her warm-up tosses. Here's the defensive alignment for Benedictine, and Johnson is throwing in to Morgan Bruno. Haley Barnes is at third. Brianna Deutscher is the shortstop. Lauren Olson playing second. Taylor Openheis is at first base. In the outfield, left center and right field, Jasmine Lozano, Lauren Bogard, and Haley Bartke. Jenna Bartke. We have a Haley Barnes and a Jenna Bartke. They're not even anywhere close to each other on the field. However, an honest mistake. That's your defensive alignment. We're ready to go. You're right, 7.5 hours in. I can be forgiven. Benedictine wearing white home uniforms, black numbers and letters. Benedictine in script on the front. Black socks with red and white stripes. Lakeland in gold uniform tops, navy blue numbers and letters, navy blue pants, and white socks. 6:30 sharp. Johnson looks in, and the first pitch to Morrow is down the middle for strike one. Morrow hitting .312, 4 doubles. League leading 6 triples, a home run, and 13 driven in, but 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts against Marion. Falls quickly behind Johnson, 0-2. A 6-foot right-hander looks in, comes up in the zone for ball one. The stretch run for Mackenzie Johnson was sparkling. I'll tell you about it in a moment. The 1-2 is too high. Final 9 appearances, 53 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs. That's a 1.07 ERA, and that included allowing 4 in one game alone. Brilliant. Up and in. They appeal. Oh, goodness. Carly Morrow held up. That was very close, and the count's full to the leadoff batter, and Johnson punches out Morrow after all that. And from up here, I'm not sure I thought that one was in the strike zone, but I think justice was served there, at least in my opinion, so it's one away for Jordan August. That's a tough job down there, and Mackenzie Johnson is arguably the hardest thrower of the day so far. She starts off Jordan August with ball one. The senior from Schererville, Indiana, hit .362 in the regular season. Went 1 for 4 earlier to hit in 10 straight. Fouls off the 1-0. And the count is even at a ball and a strike. Johnson has to shield her eyes from the sun as it's setting out behind the third base dugout. Gets the sign and then gets a foul ball from August. Move ahead in the count 1-2. We are at that point in the day where I would hate to be in right field, or even in center field for that matter. The sun is at a low angle and at approximately the level that a fly ball is going to get to. Will that play a factor? 1-2 pitch, cut on and missed. 2 up and 2 down via the strikeout. And Johnson is off to a sharp start for Benedictine. This team split back on March 28th. We're going back a ways. BU won the first game 2-0 behind a Mackenzie Johnson 3-hit shutout with 10 strikeouts. Benedictine scored twice in the bottom of the first. Victoria Dazinski RBI single, and then Johnson had a sac fly to help herself. Lakeland won game 2 by a 4-0 mark, where BU was held to 6 hits. And Lily Pettit, our starter today, tossed a 6-hit shutout. First 2 pitches to Peyton Harlow are misses. Harlow hit .361, 6 triples to tie Morrow for the conference lead in triples, and 17 driven in. She fouls off the 2-1. Harlow 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in the opener. Stand corrected, 0 for 3. I read the wrong line. Again, 4 games. I'm trying. I'm on my 3rd diet soda. I wish I was kidding about that. Foul off, even the count at 2-2. Harlow trying to get it started at a 9-game hit streak snapped in the opener against Marion. Johnson's 2-2 is too high, and the count runs full. So Johnson again looking for the sign, the payoff pitch, swing and a miss. She strikes out Harlow, and Johnson strikes out the side in her first NACC tournament appearance. Muskies go in order in the top of the first. Benedictine coming to bat. Lily Pettit was brilliant against Benedictine in her first appearance against the Eagles. She has the ball. Here's the defensive lineup. Jordan August behind the plate. We'll start in the outfield. Abby Heitman, Maddie Rasky, and Raina Rupno left center and right field. It's Mackenzie Staudinger at first base. Sydney Meyer at second. The shortstop is Carly Morrow. And Lexi Howard is playing third base. Morgan Bruno is having quite a year. Team leading 403 mark. 9 doubles, 25 driven in at the top of the Benedictine lineup. Pettit's first pitch, sails. And Bruno has started off with ball one. Had a 22-game hit streak that was snapped in the final regular season series against Aurora. She's been held hitless just 4 times all year. Third-year starter, first-team all-conference a year ago, and has reached in 24 straight coming into play today. After 2 misses, Pettit fights back and finds the strike zone against Bruno. Count is 2-1. 2-1. Came in on the hands of Bruno, and she fights it off. So 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Brianna Deutscher and Haley Barnes do up this inning. 2-2. It's fouled off the handle. Bruno stays alive. Pettit tries the 2-2 again, and a line drive into left field. Rasky will cut it off. Bruno takes a big turn around first, but hits the brakes. Well, Lisle, Illinois is only about a half hour, maybe 35 minutes from here, and if you can't tell, the fan turnout, it's probably the loudest crowd of the day, I think is a fair assessment. They were pleased at the leadoff single by Bruno, which brings Deutscher to the plate. She has 4 sacrifices. We'll see if that's in play. Although Benedictine doesn't need the sacrifice, they led the league with 105 strikeouts. Bruno had 30. Leads the NACC and has been thrown out just once. Here she goes. Pitch was low. No chance to get Bruno. He's in safe. It was actually a good throw under the circumstances from August. Counts 2-0 to Deutscher. And now it would seem to be a tailor-made sacrifice situation for the senior from Northlake, Illinois. There's the bunt sign. Tried to push it up the right field line. Got it by a charging Staudinger. But she didn't touch it, and it went foul, and a good thing. The play would have had a chance to score Bruno from second. So Lakeland's going to have to be more careful. 2-1. Deutscher will swing away and lines it to center. It stays up, and Rasky stays with it and makes the catch in the left field alley. So Haley Barnes, another Benedictine player having a terrific year. First team all-conference last year after appearing 6 times as a sophomore. She hit .466 a year ago, .390 this year. 13 doubles, 8 homers, 38 driven in. All of those lead the team. RBIs and homers are second best in the NACC. She takes ball 1 from Pettit. Here's the 1-0. That's outside. And counts 2-0. During the final 12 games, which, again, Benedictine won them all, 364. They stole 34 bases. They allowed 26 runs, and that included giving up 10 in a win against Edgewood. Quite a finish. Barnes out in front of the 2-0 and roped it off the front of the roof of the dugout. It's 2-1. It would be hard to be playing much better going into the conference tournament, and that's certainly what you're trying to do as a team. 2-1 to Barnes. That's in the dirt. The first base open, maybe not the worst thing in the world. But maybe try somebody else, and we'll see what Kayla Bryant has in store. And, you know, two teams that were kind of going in opposite directions. Lakeland did not play very well down the stretch. Here's a walk of Barnes, which will set up a play at any base. But in single elimination, and certainly in the conference tournament, it doesn't always matter. You know, Lakeland, again, lost 9 of their last 12, 7 of their last 8 conference games. That looked like a confident team against Marion earlier today. And Benedictine, they have a few on base. They've been playing well, but Lily Pettit certainly had their number earlier this season. Victoria Dazinski, the first lefty in the BU order, takes ball 1. She hit .390, 11 doubles, a home run, and 30 driven in the regular season. She'll get ahead 2-0, which has been the count in every at-bat so far in this game. Lily Pettit has had to fight back from behind. 2-0 to Dazinski. Close pitch. 3-0, and Pettit, the freshman, in danger of walking the bases loaded, and the Lakeland bullpen springs into action. 3-0 is in at the top of the zone. Maddie Clower is getting loose. 3-1 is popped a mile high on the right side. And shallow right, Rupp now fights the sun, makes the catch, and then throws a rocket to third. It was right on the money. 2 down. I don't know that the first inning has been a masterpiece for Lily Pettit, but she's an out away from getting out of the jam. She's been behind every batter. Jasmine Lozano to the plate. First pitch swinging and a flare to center. Rasky with time makes the catch, and that's it. As Benedictine gets 3 chances. With a runner in scoring position, they strand 2, but do not score. 1 hit, no errors. And we've got zeros on the scoreboard through an inning between Benedictine and Lakeland. Baseball is a different format. 5 through 8 play a single elimination round, and then the top 6 go into double elimination starting today. Middle of the Lakeland order to up in the top of the second after the top third struck out. Mackenzie Johnson back to work, paints the corner. To start off, Maddie Rasky. The last 2 NACC freshmen of the year. Freshmen. That's the more accurate plural there, but you get the point. Are in this game. Jasmine Lozano in left field and Rasky at the plate, who won it last year. She went 2 for 4 with a double earlier. Falls behind Johnson 0-2. Liner in the right, and Lakeland is into the hit column. Bartkey came up throwing, and it got away from Open Highs. Rasky takes the extra base. Well, I certainly thought that the throw to first was a little ambitious. There was no chance of getting Rasky at first, and that is why you don't make that throw. So it puts a leadoff runner into scoring position for Sidney Meyer. And Meyer went 1 for 3 with an RBI double earlier. It's a bunt spot for the Muskies. Meyer attempts, but tips it foul. She has 6 sack bunts this season, so very capable at the plate when trying to advance the runner. 0-1. No show this time, and now the bunt will likely be off as Johnson finds the inside corner. Meyer will need to battle. 0-2. Fought off. It's a rare error for Benedictine. If you recall last season, the Eagles came in last in the NACC in fielding percentage. Last. They moved up a little bit, ended up 12th of 13. They lead the league in fielding percentage this year. Ball won the Meyer on a close pitch. An unbelievable single-season turnaround defensively, and last season was very uncharacteristic. And clearly it was a priority in the offseason to not let a season like that happen again. Another foul ball from Meyer. The count remains 1-2. No score in the top of the second, 1 on and nobody out. Meyer won't go away. 7th pitch coming up after another ball fouled into the screen. One, two. It's outside. The count 2-2. Ground ball left side, snared by Barnes, who looks Rasky to the bag at second and then throws out Meyer at first. Hard to do it much better than that. And there's one away. It has not been a great start for situational hitting in this game. Benedictine 0 for 3, the bottom of the first with the runner in scoring position. Good contact, but not a result from Sidney Meyer in Lakeland's first attempt. Now Lexi Howard hacks at the first pitch and fouls it off. Howard led the team with 33 driven in, had a .364 average for Lakeland coming in, 2 for 3 with a triple and drove in a couple, adding to a spectacular freshman season. 0-1's in the dirt, no advance as Bruno knocks it down. Counts even. I mentioned a few times that I would be interested to see how the Freshman of the Year decision ends up. Howard will certainly have a compelling case. 1-1 is hit deep to center field. Bogard chases it down, and it's over her head. She'll take it on one bounce off the fence. Rasky's around third. Here's the throw home. That misses everything and bounces back to Bruno at the plate. But Lakeland is on the board. And I believe that's going to be a double and an advance on the throw. I don't know that there's going to be another error. Lakeland on the board. It is a double, and Howard into third on the throw. No error assessed. It's an unearned run for the moment. And Kate Heidkamp, who knows a thing or two about pitching and defense, is out in the circle. I was telling Bryce about this between games. 4-time All-American pitcher. at Benedictine. And then took over the program shortly after graduating. 735 wins later. Here we are in year 27. Trying to settle everyone down. 3/4 of the infield is in for Abby Heitman. Strike one from Johnson. Heitman hit .253 in the regular season, went 1 for 2 in game 1. 0-1. A flash of a bunt, and then it's pulled back, and the count evens at 1-1. Barnes and Deutscher on the left side are drawn in. Now everyone is pulled in to some degree as Johnson misses down and into Heitman. 2-1 with Howard standing on third. Another bunt attempt. It's down right in front. It lands in the batter's box. Runner tags as the throw is to first in time and then right back to the plate to get Howard. And it is an inning-ending 2-3-2 double play. Rarely seen. On a late decision to run from Howard does not pay off, and the threat ends. But Lakeland gets an unearned run on 2 hits. There was an error, and as it turns out, nobody left. The Muskies, the 7th seed, are on the board. They lead Benedictine 1-0 through 1.5. Benedictine trailing 1-0. We're in the bottom of the second, and the Eagles bring Jenna Bartkey to the plate. Takes strike one from Lily Pettit. Bartkey hit .354 in the regular season with 5 driven in. Freshman from New Lenox, trying to set the table for the Eagles. Fouls off the second pitch from Pettit. It's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch is elevated and out of the zone, and Bartkey looks at it. 1-2 count coming up. For a number of teams, falling behind early in the game has been a problem. It has probably been less the end of the world for Benedictine than a lot of teams in this tournament. They are 10-5 when they give up the game's first run, which 667 when having to chase the game is not bad at all. Couple of strikes, couple of misses, and now a foul ball as the count runs to 2-2, or more accurately, it stays at 2-2. There's a conversation happening right out in front of the crowd mic right now, so that's ongoing right here in front of us as the 2-2 flies and it's popped up. To the right side, Meyer drifts in to shallow right. Makes the catch. 1 down. I almost need a sign. This is a live microphone. Taylor Openheis digs in. Out in front, Pettit's first pitch, and that's launched over the BU bullpen. Openheis at .262 with a homer and 21 driven in during the regular season, but a rough stretch down the stretch. Just 1 hit over a final 6 games. Takes a ball, and it's 1-1. 1-0 Lakeland, bottom of the second. Scoreboard washed out from the setting sun right now at Bedrosian. 1-1 is tipped foul. The shadows have started stretching across the field. Shadow of Lily Pettit is stretching nearly out into the base path. 1-2, breaking ball, and it just missed. Close pitch. And the count evens at 2-2. Entire third baseline is now in the shade, as well as catcher at home plate. Chopper into the hole. Morrow knocks it down. Throw to first is in time. 2 down. And Morrow didn't field it perfectly. It's a close call. We had a chance to take another look. I think they got it right. So Lauren Bogard to the plate. The lefty pops it up right side. Meyer jogging into shallow right center. Has her second put out of the second inning. And it's a 1-2-3 second for Lakeland. Benedictine goes scoreless. We go to the third. Lakeland in front, 1-0. Top of the third inning, 8-9-1 due up for Lakeland. Muskies lead it 1-0 on an unearned run last inning. Mackenzie Johnson starts off Mackenzie Staudinger and will try to be the first one today to retire the sophomore. She went 3 for 3 in the opener, 258 in the regular season. One of those 3 hits went for 2 bases. She drove in a run. That was after her first career 4 for 4 game on Friday. So finishing strong is the sophomore from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. She swings and misses at the 1-1 as Johnson pulls the string. And it's 1-2. Johnson with sunglasses on into her motion and buries a fastball. It's 2-2. He's actually one of the few wearing sunglasses in the BU lineup, and you don't usually see the pitcher as one of them. Foul ball on 2-2. The count remains steady. The outfielders, they are equipped. Although Lozano not wearing them, best I can tell. 2-2, swing and a miss. 4th strikeout. And 1 away to begin the third. Now Lozano has the sunglasses on the brim of her hat. Apparently not needing them in left field right now. Everyone else does. First pitch up and in to Raina Rupp now, the slap-hitting lefty in the 9th spot. 0 for 3 in the opener. 317 in the regular season. And now 2-0. Pitch. Off-speed offering doesn't find the zone, and Johnson in a 3-0 hole. The 9th batter in the Lakeland lineup. 4-pitch walk. Unusual. So Rupp now will take her base. And the top of the order comes to the plate. Carly Morrow was called out on strikes to begin the ball game. 30 minutes later, back up at the plate in the top of the third. First pitch comes up and hit her in the helmet. Seems to be okay. I don't think they'll even check on her. Seems to be fine. Now Kate Heidkamp is out and is going to have a word. So everyone will take a moment to discuss. There's baseball going on. Conference tournament is underway. 6-seeded Edgewood. A 4-1 win earlier today over 3rd-seeded Concordia Chicago, and then the troubles continued for the higher-seeded teams as 4th-seeded Benedictine fell to number 5 Marion 8-7. Aurora, the 2nd seed, is in action against 6-seeded Edgewood as we speak, and Edgewood becomes the 3rd higher seed to win. They defeat Aurora 10-9. So much for last at bat being an advantage in the NACC baseball tournament today. Jordan August with 2 on and 1 out, flashed a bunt and then pulled it back as Johnson missed with her first offering. August struck out her first trip. Corner is drawn in. Here's another shown bunt. It's pulled back and taken for a strike. I don't think that the bunt is really on. I think it's for show. Would be another rare 1-out sacrifice. 1-1, swung on, and lifted foul. I think that's more about trying to shape the defense the way you want it rather than the way your opponent wants to do it. But now BU will be able to set their way with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. August fights off the pitch. Count remains 1-2. Now a bunt. It's popped up. Openheis makes the catch, but the defense was spun around. No one was covering the bases for a double play to be possible. Well, 2 away, and I think a missed opportunity there for Lakeland. We'll bring Peyton Harlow to the plate. Takes ball 1, trying to find a way to put one in play after striking out in her first appearance. Also looking for her first hit of the afternoon. 1-0. It's off the plate. And Johnson will have to battle back. 1-0 Lakeland lead in the top of the third. Johnson into the windup, and the 2-0 is in at the letters. I think if Harlow is 5'5", that's ball 3, but she's 5'6", and it's a strike. Two one. It's too low. Hitters count for Harlow. 2 outs, 2 on. Top of the third inning, a 1-0 Lakeland lead. 3-1 pitch, too high. The bases are loaded. Second walk of the inning. Bases loaded without a hit for Maddie Rasky. Singled and scored the game's only run. Johnson starts her off with a strike. Just about the last player in Lakeland's lineup you would want to see in this spot. So Johnson will have to have her best, and she climbs the ladder, and Rasky swings and misses. Fortunes can change quickly. The count's 0-2 to Rasky. Johnson to the windup. Rasky fights it off. It looked like Johnson was going for the same pitch that Rasky swung and missed on moments earlier. What a spot. Benedictine trying to get out of a bases-loaded jam. An 0-2 count to Rasky and a grounder up the middle. Diving stop. Deutscher to second for the fielder's choice to end the inning. And Benedictine escapes the bases-loaded jam. Lakeland fails to score through 2.5. It's still 1-0 Muskies in the 2025 NACC tournament. Mackenzie Johnson will get the bat out for the first time, hitting in the 9th spot of the BU order. Eagles trail Lakeland 1-0. Sean Fry with you. Bryce Suiters, our technical director. He's here as well. Johnson at .344 in the regular season. She offers at the first pitch and rolls it foul up the third baseline. 6 doubles, a home run, and 17 driven in. Played at Triton last season at .373. A home run and 9 doubles. Not bad at all. A 1 from Lily Pettit. Soft liner to second, right into the glove of Meyer. 1 down. Top of the order, and Morgan Bruno to the plate for the Birds. Singled and was stranded in the first. Pettit starts off Bruno with a breaking ball and a good one. Strike 1. Oh, 1. Back to the off speed. Bruno stares at it all the way into the dirt. The count evens at 1-1. Ground ball, third base. Hops up into Howard, who knocks it down, picks it up, and throws out Bruno. 2 up and 2 down. And Lily Pettit, who, if you'll recall, got behind the first 4 batters of the game 2-0, has now retired 7 straight and has pitched largely from ahead. As Brianna Deutscher to the plate. Righty-righty matchup as Pettit is into her motion, comes up and in, and it's off the hands and foul. 4-game hit streak to end the season for Deutscher. She hit in 7 of her final 8, hitting .444 with 4 driven in and 11 runs scored in that time. She's actually 3rd in the conference in runs scored. Second on her own team behind Bruno. Bruno has scored 45 times, Deutscher 37. 1-1, deep fly ball, but it's foul as it launches onto the batting cages. One and two. Pettit trying to get through. Benedictine in order again. Grounder to third. Howard to a knee. Has it. Throw to first in time. The slide from Deutscher is late. 1, 2, 3. Go the Eagles again as Lily Pettit once again looking very good against Benedictine. Lakeland has a 1-0 lead through 3 innings. Pitcher's duel so far through 3 innings. Sidney Meyer in the 5th spot of the Lakeland order leads off the top of the 4th. For Muskies in front, Benedictine. 1-0. They need a new ball, so they throw it back. Looks like that meets Mackenzie Johnson's approval, and now Meyer will get the bat. Grounded out in her first trip. Johnson into her motion. Misses down and in. Start to see a few more winter hats pop up. It is gotten cool out there. 1-0 pitch. That's too high. For the most part, everyone has a sweatshirt or jacket on. There are a few folks that I've also seen wrapped up in blankets. But I think I want to draw attention to several fans who have, I guess it's not really a Hawaiian shirt, but it's a floral shirt for Lakeland. It's like a navy blue with a green. It almost looks like a fern or maybe a pine tree. It's hard to really describe the pattern. From 2-0 to 2-2, Johnson has gotten level. I don't know what you'd call that. Ground ball left side deep in the hole. Deutscher has to be quick. The throw and the stretch by Openheis gets Meyer by a step. Close play. Let's see. That's a really good call by first base umpire Mark Ginsky. Lexi Howard comes to the plate. First pitch swinging and a pop-up. It's a mile high on the left side. Deutscher just inside the infield dirt makes the catch, and there's 2 away. Which will bring Abby Heitman to the plate. We have a stationary camera, or else I would pan and find one of these shirts. It's a great look. They have the little LU all over. We need to bring, I think that's a great look. We need more of that. It's team spirit. It's fun. It's a little cold for it today, I will admit. But if you have it on over a jacket or sweatshirt, and indeed, that is the case. Foul ball from Abby Heitman. Grounded into that 2-3-2 double play earlier. 1-1. It's in the dirt. I presume, Bryce, you're from the, well, let's face it, it's really cold here. So I imagine you have a knit hat of some sort. Pom-pom or no pom-pom? No pom-pom? 2-1's up and in. It's a 3-1 count to Heitman. Why no pom-pom? Bryce says it's not his style. I'm a pom-pom guy. I look exclusively, as strike 2 comes into Heitman and loads the count, I look exclusively for woolen hats that have the pom-pom. I won't buy one without it. 3-2, close pitch, and it's ball 4. Heitman's on with 2 outs. It is a fun stylistic choice. As I look around, I see actually mostly pom-pom hats out there. So there's both, but I think it's a majority of the pom-pom hat. Strike 1 to Mackenzie Staudinger, and then a miss well outside with Johnson's fastball. It's 1-1. The sophomore who struck out in her first trip. 2 outs, 1 on. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. It's Johnson again, a strike away from getting out of the 4th. Damage free. She's ready to go. 1-2. Just missed the corner. 2-2 to Staudinger. I think that's about it for the fun fashion choices. There's a fly ball and 2-2 out to center. There's Bogard. That's it for Lakeland in the top of the fourth. No runs, one left. Halfway home in the final game of day one, the 2025 NACC tournament. Lakeland leads Benedictine 1-0. One nothing, bottom of the fourth. Heart of the Benedictine order due up. Haley Barnes to lead it off. Lily Pettit's been excellent. Starts off Barnes with ball one. 43 pitches, 26 for strikes for Pettit. It's been much more around the plate as the game has gone on. 1-0 is belted. This is high and deep, but it is foul, and it will go past the batting cages. It's activity in the Benedictine bullpen as a righty is up and throwing. But it's actually just Mackenzie Johnson. Liner to left, that one was carrying, but Heitman was playing deep and went back and got it for the first down. You don't often see the current pitcher in the bullpen keeping loose between innings. But indeed, Johnson, as the temperatures are dropping, trying to stay warm. Here's Victoria Dazinski from the left side. First pitch swinging and a pop-up, shallow right. It ends up being pushed back onto the infield where Meyer is there to put it away for the second out. 2 up, 2 down. Pettit has now retired 10 straight Benedictine batters. A magnificent performance by the freshman. And Jasmine Lozano will try to break it up. Looks at a strike. There hasn't even been a ton of hard contact from Benedictine. At least not that's stayed in play. 0-1 breaking ball doesn't find the plate. It's also not much of a margin for error for Lakeland right now either. The teams have combined for 3 hits, 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. Only run is unearned. Grounder to the right side. Easy play for Meyer. Throw to first gets Lozano by 15 feet. Once again, and for the third straight inning, Benedictine is retired. 1, 2, 3. To the fifth. 1-0 Lakeland. 9-1 and 2 to up in the Muskies order. Rayner up now will lead off the top of the fifth in the 9th spot for Lakeland. Muskies lead 1-0. Reached on a walk and was stranded on third in the third inning when Lakeland left the bases loaded. Mackenzie Johnson, after throwing between innings, back onto the rubber, misses down and away. No sunglasses now for Johnson, who has left them in the dugout. The shadows are nearly all the way across the infield now. Strike one into Rupp now. In fact, it's really just a few streaks that are still lit over by second base. A few geese fly overhead trying to see what the score is. They sail over the right field scoreboard. Satisfied that it's 1-0, they continue on over and towards a patch of grass on the property. In fact, just off of it. 1-1 missed. It's 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 runs up and in. Rupp now doesn't offer. 3-1. Rupp now tries to walk for the second time in this game. 3-1 pitch, down and away. Rupp now will work the leadoff walk. That's Johnson's 4th base on balls allowed today. And Kate Heidkamp is out to have a word again. You can see the geese. There's several of them out beyond the parking lot. They are doing goose things at the moment. Not really a lot of water out in that particular area, but I'm sure there's plenty of food in the field, so they are currently looking for that. Apparently not big softball fans. We do charge admission. Maybe just didn't have it available. It's kept on going. Every now and again you'll get a few doves that'll wander by, or a songbird. Carly Morrow takes ball one. Just about the only Eagles that visit Bedrosian Stadium are from Benedictine and Edgewood. You're not really a big bald eagle area in this particular spot. Strike one tomorrow. You might get a hawk. Plenty of those in the area. Swing and a miss on 1-1. Morrow falls behind. Kayla Bryant electing not to bunt with the leadoff runner on, and now Morrow at the top of the order, choked up, is punched out for the second time today. 5th strikeout for Johnson on the first out of the 5th inning. Are you a bird watcher, Bryce? You don't know your birds? You enjoy birds? Well, it's easy to enjoy birds. The only living dinosaurs. Fun fact. Not dinosaurs. Alligators are not dinosaurs. Birds are what's left. Strike and then a ball taken by Jordan August. You never know what you're going to learn when you get to the last day or the last game of the NACC tournament. A foul ball is August looking for her first hit. Falls behind 1-2. 1 out, 1 on, top of the 5th, 1-0 Lakeland. I actually have become rather knowledgeable about birds. Gotten into bird watching a little bit as I've advanced through my 30s. At one point was attracting Orioles, and they were coming to the feeder. I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan. I wanted them to be appropriately honored at my residence. They are very bright. When you think, as the 2-2 pitch misses and the count's full to August, when you think, oh, the Orioles orange is way too bright, no. It's right on the money. Here's a foul ball off the handle, and the count remains full. Lots of sparrows. If you put out a bird feeder, you're getting sparrows. They will be everywhere. Or finches. They're gray with the red chest. You've probably seen them. Here's a line drive up the middle. Rupp now will go first to third as the ball comes back in. Runners on the corners. Just 1 out for Peyton Harlow. We'll put a pin in the bird talk now that we have a scoring situation coming up for Lakeland. However, we have 3 more days of this, so if I bring my Birdwatcher's Guide in, we're probably going to get a lot of emails if I do that, so maybe I should not. Strikeout and a walk for Peyton Harlow. Puts the bunt out and then pops up a bunt. Open Highs can't get there. Well, the way Lily Pettit is pitching right now, one more run might be all she wrote for Benedictine. Not generated very much. Johnson's 0-1, rides up and out of the zone. And it's 1-1. Now, Mackenzie Johnson has the benefit of being a power pitcher. Sorely needs a strikeout and gets strike 2 with a high fastball. Infield is not in. As the 1-2's on the way, and it rides up and out of the zone. 2-2 the count. Coming up on an hour of softball with an out. Runners on the corners in the top of the 5th. Just 4 hits between the teams. Lakeland has 3 of them. Harlow is called out on strikes. Johnson was working the top of the zone and gets the call from home plate umpire Keith Poirier. So it's up to Maddie Rasky to extend the Lakeland lead. First pitch swinging and right back to Johnson, who quickly underhands it to Open Highs for the inning-ending 1-3 putout. Once again, Lakeland threatens. 1 hit, they leave 2, but no runs, and it stays a 1-0 game. Going to the bottom of the 5th. Lakeland leading Benedictine. One nothing Lakeland, bottom of the 5th. Jenna Bartkey, first pitch swinging deep to right and over the head of Rupp now into the wall. Bartkey trying to spark the rally for Benedictine. The leadoff double in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Lakeland. Taylor Open Highs comes to the plate. 6 sacrifices on the season, and you would have to think if ever there were a time, this would be it. Infield is coming in expecting the show of bunt from Open Highs. She doesn't, and Pettit misses off the plate. Well, Open Highs is 21 driven in. Why play for 1 when you can play for a big inning? Could potentially be the thought. Now the bunt shown, and Open Highs isn't able to get it down. In fact, she misses altogether. And it's 1-1. 3 tries in this game. The runner in scoring position, Benedictine, has failed to get a hit in either of them, but Barkey's double ends a stretch of 11 straight retired. And now all of a sudden the contact is significant. Open Highs on the barrel, but hooked it foul down the left field line. It's a long and hard hit strike. And the count is 1-2. It's the freshman Pettit now trying to settle down. She looks in. Here's the 1-2. It's outside. Stirring in the Lakeland bullpen, and we can't tell you who it is because they're wearing a sweatshirt as they warm up. There's a number on the back. It's Natalie Zebel. Another shot from Open Highs, but it's hit foul and in the direction of the entry road. 2-2. Open Eyes trying to square one up and takes a close pitch. And the umpires and Golden Navy not thrilled about that call. The count is full to Open Eyes as Pettit winds, and Open Eyes hits it hard and off the tip of the glove of Morrow in the left field. It was enough to hold up Bartkey, who stops at third. Runners on the corners, nobody out. And now Kayla Bryant out of the dugout to have a word with the Lakeland infield. Lauren Bogard, for her part, has 8 sacrifices and only 7 RBIs on the season. You could attempt the squeeze play. You could also put on a steal play to see if Lakeland will throw down or if they'll simply give up the base at second and decide to live for another play. There's options for a Benedictine team that is aggressive on the base paths. And meanwhile, Lily Pettit does not have a strikeout and is not a prominent strikeout pitcher. So she's going to need to get some sharp contact at an infielder or find a way to miss some bats. Bogard's 0 for 1. She shows bunt and takes a pitch outside. The infield is in, but not to any extreme extent. Against the lefty Bogard, they would be drawn in a bit anyway. She shows bunt, gets it down first base side. The squeeze was on, and it ends up being a fielder's choice as Staudinger just stares Bartkey back to the bag at third. Infield single, bases loaded with nobody out for Mackenzie Johnson. How about this spot for the pitcher of record? She can get herself right off the hook for the loss with one swing. Back up the middle, stabbed at and knocked down to the plate for one, and the double play. 1, 2, 3 keeps Lakeland in the lead. Oh my goodness. And now Lakeland, an out away from getting out of the jam. Morgan Bruno pops up the first pitch. It's hauled in by Morrow, and the inning is over. Bases loaded, nobody out. Benedictine doesn't score. 3 hits, they leave 2. And it's still 1-0 Lakeland going to the 6th. Our broadcast is presented in part by Kaufman GMC in Aurora, by Elite Management Properties, and by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Top of the 6th inning, Mackenzie Johnson now has to shake off grounding into a 1-2-3 double play with the bases loaded and nobody out. Followed by a pop out and not scoring at all in a situation where it looked like Benedictine would almost certainly take the lead. If not at least tie, they don't get anything. And Lakeland brings Sydney Meyer in the 5th spot to the plate, somehow clinging to a lead. Johnson's first pitch is in for a strike. Unbelievable. Myers 0 for 2, and now behind in the count 0-2. Foul ball into the screen. We're a long way from over. Lakeland has not exactly been able to finish the job in every situation to this point in the season. Meyer takes ball 1. They've allowed multi-run innings in the bottom of the 7th 3 times to lose. Twice at Dominican and once against Concordia, Chicago. There's a pop-up up the middle. Shortstop Deutscher is all day and makes the catch. Which is to say, Benedictine has 6 outs to work with. And Lakeland, when needing to get 3 outs for the win, has not always been able to slam the door. But it's a new day. Hard hit liner. Lexi Howard, who is 2 for 3, sends it right back past the ear of Johnson. A 1-out single will bring Abby Heitman to the plate. The entire field now in shadow as the sun is set behind the tree line. The lights are on here at Bedrosian Stadium. We can see the scoreboard a little bit better. First pitch, Abby Heitman was way out on that swing. And falls behind 0-1 as a result. She has an open stance, but it looked like her head was about at the chalk line on that swing. 0-1. Fouled off. Johnson is in control. We need to find a way to bring the Geese back. Game's just getting good. You know, the action's not down there. The action is up here. 0-2 to Heitman. Too high. You would think they'd want to be here to support Benedictine. Fellow Birds, right? But evidently not. 1-2. That's outside. It's going to be hard for Lakeland to have any support from the animal kingdom as the muskies are fish. We would need some kind of an aquarium, which we do not have last I checked, at least not anywhere in the area. Another foul ball, it's 2-2. The pitch. Heitman fouls off another. It's getting late. Past the 7:30 hour. Getting late in the season as well, and getting late for one of these two teams will be done after tonight. Johnson, another strike 3 called. It's her 7th strikeout. She punches out Heitman. There's 2 away. She now has 7 strikeouts. 4 of them have frozen opposing batters. Kenzie Staudinger 0 for 2 here in the nightcap for Lakeland. Takes ball 1 from Johnson. It's the pitch. That's wide. Two and out. And it gets away from Bruno. That will allow Howard to advance to second on the wild pitch. It's also a 3-0 count to Staudinger. Now, ordinarily, you might just say, well, put her on base and go after the 9th hitter. But Raina Rupp now has been walked twice today. Johnson hasn't really handled a slap-hitting lefty very well. But she misses on 4 pitches unintentionally to Staudinger. And now we'll have to find a way to retire Rupp now after all. Now 2 on. Lakeland a chance to extend the lead. First pitch from Johnson is in at the letters. Left fielder Lozano about halfway out in left field. It's actually a rather normal outfield depth for Benedictine. Rupp now falls behind 0-2. That is something that has not happened in this ball game. Johnson a pitch away from getting out of the sixth. 0-2, fouled off. Rupp now trying to battle. The 0-2 pitch is rolled slowly to short. Deutscher's on it. Throw was not going to be in time. It ends up spiking away from open highs. Howard made the turn and scores. It's 2-0. Believe it'll be an infield single and an error. We'll wait on the call. And that indeed is exactly what it is, an infield single. And then Howard will score on the error on Deutscher. That allows Rupp now to advance, stand corrected, Staudinger to advance to second. Rupp now stays on first. And the road back for Benedictine just got that much steeper. Strike one, and then Carly Morrow golfs the next pitch into the Benedictine bullpen. It's 0-2. She's 0 for 2 and has struck out looking twice. It's the 0-2. It's too high. Now 1-2 tomorrow. Swing and a miss. That's the hat trick. And Johnson has 8 strikeouts. Another run in on 2 hits, an error, and a couple left. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Lakeland leads Benedictine 2-0. Brianna Deutscher trying to start it up. Takes a ball and then a strike. She's 0 for 2. Lily Pettit has been outstanding for Lakeland in this one. 1-1 pitch. Out to short. Bobbled by Morrow. And the throw is then way over the head of the first baseman. And Deutscher advances to second after the leadoff error. I think that's going to be 2 errors on the play. One that allowed first base, and then the other that allowed the second. And in any case, immediately with a runner in scoring position. So Haley Barnes' first pitch, hot shot to short. It was knocked down by Morrow, but no chance for an advance. That's an infield single, and the first two are aboard. And the go-ahead run steps to the plate for Benedictine. And first, we're going to have a pinch runner after Haley Barnes records her first hit of the tournament. It's Lauren Olson, the flex player. So she goes to first, and Victoria Dazinski, who is 0 for 2, will bat. They're checking on Carly Morrow, who I don't know if she had an equipment problem with the glove or was just in a bit of discomfort, but seems to be okay. And after an unearned run in the top of the 6th, now Lakeland trying to get out of a jam again. Dazinski takes ball one outside. One out. Swung on, it's a blooper in the right, and it's down in front of Rupp now. Once again, the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Kayla Bryan is out of the dugout. What to do, what to do. If Lakeland gets out of this without allowing a run again, that would border on the miraculous. That is a lot of Benedictine Eagles on the base paths to not score. They didn't have anybody on base at all for 3 innings earlier in this game. Now they can't stop getting runners on, but they haven't gotten anybody home. Jasmine Lozano will try to put the Eagles at least into the run column, and she'll take strike 1 from Pettit. Induced a 1-2-3 double play in this spot last inning. The 0-1. Lozano hits it to third. Howard goes home for 1. There will be no turn, but the fielder's choice gets the lead runner. Bases still loaded and 1 out for Jenna Bartkey. She doubled last inning. Another double might give Benedictine the lead and 3 outs from advancing. It was just her 3rd double of the season. First pitch swinging, and it's deep in the center. It'll be cut off by Rupp now. Olson scores. Benedictine's on the board, and Dazinski stops at third. It's 2-1. And Taylor Openheis, who is 1 for 2, will try to tie it up or put Benedictine ahead. Pettit's first pitch misses low. Natalie Zebel continues to warm in the Lakeland bullpen. 1-0 pitch, swung on, it's off the glove of Howard. Dazinski scores. We are all tied up in the bottom of the 6th. The bases are still loaded. An RBI infield single on the hard hit grounder by Taylor Openheis. And now Lauren Bogard can give Benedictine the lead. First pitch swung on, and it's into the screen. The wind has diminished to basically nothing at this point. It's as calm as it's been all day. For anyone who's trying to give the fences a test. Bogart's 1 for 2. The freshman trying to come through. Takes ball 1. She's been on a bit of an extra base hit barrage. 3 of her 4 on the season have been just in the last 6 games, not including this one. 1-1 from Pettit. Missed the outside corner. 2-1. A tied ball game, bases loaded, 1 out. 4 hits this inning for Benedictine. Pettit's 2-1, swung on into left field. Rasky can't get there. It's over her head into the wall. Lozano scores, Bartkey scores. It is a 2-run double, and Benedictine has the lead. Openheis slides into third. All of a sudden, Benedictine is 3 outs from advancing, and that is going to be it for Lily Pettit. Pitching change as Maddie Clower comes in to try to get the final 2 outs at the bottom of the 6th. 4-2 Benedictine. They lead here in the final game of day 1 of the NACC tournament. Maddie Clower into the game. It's her 9th appearance, 4.42 ERA in 12 2/3 innings. She does not have a strikeout. And this is a tough spot to be in if you don't have a strikeout this season. She'll face Mackenzie Johnson in the 9th spot. Starts her off with ball 1. Johnson's 0 for 2, but is batting now with a lead and 2 in scoring position. Breaking ball in for a strike. It's 1-1. Benedictine, 5 hits this inning, 3 straight to chase Lily Pettit, who had been absolutely brilliant until the last 2 innings. She got out of the bases loaded, no out jam in the 5th, and was not able to do it in the 6th. And now Lakeland on the cusp of elimination. 1-2, looped up the middle. Openheis scores. Around third comes Bogart. The throw home, not in time. Back-to-back 2-run hits. It's a 6-run bottom of the 6th. And Benedictine brings all 9 to the plate. Pinch runner for Johnson. It's Emily Puentes. Puentes takes first, and Morgan Bruno digs in for the 4th time. She's 1 for 3. Still just 1 out. Takes a ball. Things can change so quickly in softball, and here they do once again. Pitch in the dirt. It's 2-0. 2-0 from Clower. It's a breaking ball in for a strike. 1 hit through 4 innings. Now 9. Just in the last 2. There's a strike and a throw to first that is not in time. The floodgates opened, and they did so in a big way for BU here in the 6th. Breaking ball, waited on, driven the left. Running onto it is Heitman. She records the second out. And it'll be Brianna Deutscher trying to extend the inning. She's 0 for 3. It was the double error that started off the inning and put her in the scoring position. She waits and loops one deep down the left field line, but it's foul. There was an error on the shortstop initially, and then a second error gave her an additional base. Ended up being erased on a fielder's choice, but damage done. The 0-1, and it is lifted into right. Rupp now gets spun around and drops it. And Puentes will come around and score from first. And the third error of the inning extends the inning. It's 7-2. And Haley Barnes will bat for the second time this inning. Will we have another pinch runner? Evidently not. It's actually just a re-entry for Haley Barnes because Lauren Olson ran for her earlier, so they have to put Olson back at second base and return Barnes to the lineup. Singled and scored, or at least her spot in the lineup scored earlier. First pitch swinging, that's belted, but it's foul. Not a lot of bats being missed right now. Oh, 1, breaking ball through the left side. Deutscher around third. Here's the throw. It is on the money to end the inning. 7-2 is the third out, but Benedictine brings 11 to the plate. 7 runs. 5 of them earned on 6 hits, 3 errors. They leave 1, and just like that, it's last chance time for Lakeland. Benedictine 3 outs from advancing to double elimination play. They lead Lakeland 7-2. Benedictine fans are loud. Mackenzie Johnson will try to finish off Lakeland. She has a 7-2 lead. Jordan August starts it off and takes strike 1. She's 1 for 3. The 1's fouled off. And Jordan August, what could be the final at-bat of her career, is in an 0-2 hole. Johnson takes a moment, now steps on the rubber. The 0-2 pitch, it's in the dirt. Close pitch on 1 and 2. August stays alive. There's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not a 7th inning failure to hold the lead, but another instance where Lakeland had a chance. Oh, goodness! A foul out to right. Jenna Bartkey, full extension, makes the catch. 1 away. You are not going to find a better defensive play than that. Peyton Harlow 0 for 2 with a walk, takes strike 1. As I mentioned, there have been a few of these that have gotten away from Lakeland. The tight games have largely not gone their way. They were excellent against Marion earlier today in navigating a close game. And Lily Pettit, it cannot be understated how good she was for so much of her outing. It gets away in the 6th. Strike 2 to Harlow. He's trying to avoid being struck out. Like Carly Morrow for the 3rd time today. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. 9th strikeout for Mackenzie Johnson. 3rd of the day for Harlow, and Lakeland is down to its final out. They need 5 runs with 2 outs. Maddie Rasky takes strike 1. She is 1 for 3. Johnson trying to finish the job. Here's the pitch. It's fouled off. And the Eagles, from down 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th, are a strike away from moving on. Last 2 games of the day have certainly been wild. Foul ball down the line. It stays 0-2, and the game continues. After a couple of 4-1 games where the leads were never really seriously threatened, MSOE wins a wild one 6-4 against Concordia Chicago, and now a 7-run 6th. Ground ball left side. Howard, make that. Barnes has it. The throw to first is in time, and Benedictine has eliminated Lakeland, and they move on to double elimination play beginning tomorrow. Final score 7-2. What a rally by Benedictine. Mackenzie Johnson, a 9-strikeout complete game, 2 unearned runs. Did work around 5 hits and 5 walks. But she picks up the win and moves to 16-5. Lily Pettit will fall to 5-6 with the loss. No save. Benedictine 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors. They actually only leave 5 on the day, in some part because they had 3 innings without anybody getting on base at all. Lakeland 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors, all of them coming in the bottom of the 6th inning. They strand 8, and their season comes to an end at 20-22. Benedictine moves to 28-13. 1 hour and 34 minutes game time of Game D in the final one of single elimination. So it's Benedictine tomorrow against Dominican at 6:30. It's a 2-3 matchup. Before that, at 4 o'clock, we'll begin play with 5th-seeded MSOE squaring off with the number 1 seed, Concordia, Wisconsin. We hope you will join us for that. Big thanks to the Aurora University Athletic Communications and Facilities teams and our technical director, Bryce Suter. We will be back tomorrow. My name is Sean Fry. This has been day one of the 2025 Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Softball Tournament. Have a great night. Sleep well. We'll see you back here for more softball tomorrow.